directions every anger.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to Kel's Place. How's it going? I didn't actually think I was gonna make a video right now. I literally just got back from Vegas celebrating my 25th birthday. Yay, I turned 25. Woohoo! I have made it to a quarter century, people, a quarter century. So high success for me. So anyways, I'm gonna be doing a video today. Kind of intense. I never thought I would have to make a video like this, but you know, life happens. So it's been a rough 2 weeks, you guys, a rough 2 weeks, and it all happened the week before my birthday. So my birthday is on August 1st, 1994, I was born in, and all this happened literally like the week before my birthday. So it's been a crazy mess, and this vacation was definitely well needed because I needed to get a lot of stuff off my mind and off my chest, and I just needed to mourn and sulk. So this vacation was very fun, was very good for me. So I had a very good time on my vacation with my family, and I hope that within months of time I will begin to, I'm already in a healing process in a way, but as more time goes on I will be more in a healing process, if that makes sense. Sorry you guys, I gotta check my phone just in case. So a lot has been going on. I'm gonna tell you guys what's been going on. So the week before my birthday, I guess I should tell you a story first, because that's how this story is gonna make sense. So if you could see by the title, this isn't a very happy video. It's a very sad video, and I've cried all my tears. I hope I don't cry anymore, but if I do, I apologize, but I'm still very emotional about this topic. It just happened, obviously, so I'm gonna be very, very emotional. So I guess I could just get straight to the point. A man who's nice, he was 26 now, he was a man, pretty much just like the title, the man who I thought I was gonna be married to someday has passed away. I don't know how else to say it, other than he died. He died of a terrible disease, but he is in a better place now, and I hope that my life will begin to heal. Just a moment, guys. Sorry. It's a crazy story how Zack and I met. His name was Zack. He was an amazing person. Let's just get that out of the way. I really don't know how to start this video because it's so crazy to even make a video like this. I never thought I would have to make a video like this. I met Zack when I was 17 years old and he was 19. He was a freshman in college and I was a junior in high school. He lived in Ohio and I live in California. It's been a long distance friendship and a long distance relationship for the most part. But I was head over heels for this guy. Literally, I was head over heels. I was at a point very in love with him, and for a very big point, he was one of my best friends, and he will continue to be one of my best friends. Zack and I met on a Interpal website where you meet people from all over the world. It's not a dating site, it's to meet people and talk to people from other states and other countries. And that's the way I met Zack. And Zack messaged me first, and he just told me that he thought I was the prettiest girl. And I was sunken in literally at that moment because at that time, I never thought of myself as attractive. So when Zack told me how pretty he thought I was just like, wow, this guy who was very, very handsome thinks that I'm pretty. Like, that's crazy to me. It's insane. Zack and I had our ups and downs. We met in 2012, so I knew Zack for 7 years. It's been a crazy 7 years. We have had our ups and downs together. We have been in a relationship. We have been best friends. We have hated each other. Zack and I have been many things. But if there's one thing I know is that we always loved and cared for each other throughout the entire time. Even when we hated each other at one point. You know, I don't think like we hated each other, but we were always really upset with each other. We fought all the time, and it got pretty intense. You know, we were kids, we were young, we didn't know how to handle our emotions, that type of thing. When we met, I wanted a relationship at 17. I was too young, but still I wanted a serious relationship, and he just wanted to have fun because he was a freshman in college, and he was beautiful. He had beautiful blonde curly hair and beautiful green eyes that I was totally in love with. And he and I were like talking, like I wouldn't say dating, but we were talking a lot, and I guess you could say consider us dating, you know, that type of stuff. And he was just so amazing to me, and he was just the perfect guy, and I was just so in love with him, and he was in love with me, but the more I wanted a relationship, the more I kind of pushed him away, and it really scared him because he was not ready for a relationship, and I just kept pushing him, and that's how we got into our first fight. 1 second. Hi Mom, what happened? Oh yeah, when the garage wasn't closing. Okay, alright, bye. My Mom. So I pushed him away, and he and I got into this really big fight, and he just kept telling me, you keep pushing me away, like, please stop. And at that point, he did love me, but he kept saying, like, you know what, we're just better off as friends. I just see you as a friend. I don't know if that was true. I want to say he saw me more as a friend, but because I kept pushing him away, he just thought, you know what, forget it. Like, I'm just gonna be friends with this girl because she's wanting something serious and I'm not ready. And so he and I eventually took a break, and I started dating another guy, and I eventually cut Zack off because my boyfriend at the time did not want me talking to Zack because he felt threatened. So me and Zack didn't talk for like 5 months, and Zack was very hurt by that point, but I think kind of it did us a good deal to do that because, you know, he and I were just not in the same right paces, and we're just kind of really, really different. And now the only thing about Zack was that he was a player. Not a player, that's a bad word to say. He was not a player. Zack was not a player, but when we eventually got back together after me and my ex-boyfriend broke up, he wanted a relationship where he could do what he wanted and I could do what I wanted. It was that kind of scenario where I know we're gonna be together, but until we're actually physically together, let's just do what we want to get it out of our systems, kind of thing. And I wasn't into that, but because I love Zack so much, I decided to let it be okay because I didn't want to lose him again. Girls, don't do this. Don't do this, you know. But at the same time, again, I don't regret it either for myself because I loved this kid so much. And in the end, it was okay, you know, and eventually at one point, yeah, so pretty much during our entire relationship, he kind of like dated other people and I dated other people as well, but he was still like my boyfriend. Zack was still my boyfriend. He was my priority boyfriend, I guess. See, I'm making it sound weird. We were dating, but we were never official because we were allowed to date other people. So Zack called me his future wife while I called him my future husband. Zack was going to be the one that I was going to end up with, and I was going to be Zack's future wife, the one that he was going to end up getting married to. Now, look at it this way. If you guys kind of want an example, have you guys ever watched Glee? If you have, and if you haven't, you should look it up. But Rachel and Corey were in a point where they knew that they were going to end up with each other. However, Rachel mostly wanted to see other people. So that's kind of how Zack was. Like in the story of Glee, she knew you are the person I hope to end up with. But she said, but at this point, I cannot physically be with you until you are ready. So that's how Zack and I were, if that makes sense. So I was ready, but he wasn't, in a way, to really get committed and get married. But he said, let's see other people. But we both know when the time is right, when we both know it's physically impossible, when we both know it's physically possible and we're mentally ready, we are going to end up together and we are going to get married and we are going to have a family and we are going to live happily ever after. Until then, we need to find who we are as people so we can go back to each other someday. That's what happened in Glee, and that's how me and Zack were. So Zack was the person that I knew and that I thought I was going to get married with someday. And that's how he thought of me. And there were so many times at a point where he would just tell me, like, I love you so much. He would tell me all the time, like, you are the girl for me. You are the perfect girl for me. And he fell in love. At one point, he told me a story where he fell in love at 15 years old with his first love. And he never thought he could love again. Because it's a first love. You know, no one's going to replace your first love. So you never think that you would love someone just as much. And he would always tell me, you know, I never thought I could love a girl as much as I did at 15, but you have proven me wrong. Like, that wasn't love. Like, your love. Sorry about that. My battery kind of like failed on me. But he would tell me that your love, like, you are the reason. Like, he would tell me, like, you're the reason I get up every morning. You make my life so much better. You make me the happiest man on this planet. He would tell me so many times in different words that I was the one for him. And I would tell him the exact same thing. This was a guy that I could see myself getting married to. This was the guy that I was waiting for. Yeah, I was seeing other people, I was dating other people, but no one came in comparison to Zack. Because, you know, in my heart I knew, yeah, I'm dating these other guys. Yeah, Zack's dating whoever in college, but, you know, I was gonna marry Zack, you know, kind of like in Glee. Rachel knew she was gonna marry Corey. She might be dating other guys, but when she was ready, she was gonna go to him, and that was it. And that's how I felt with Zack. You know, I needed to find myself first, and Zack needed to find himself because Zack was going through a lot of problems, you know, and Zack was a lot like people. He had his own problems, and unfortunately, he started drinking at an age of 13 years old. And that drinking progressed and became a worse problem when he hit 19 to 20. Especially 21, when he was allowed to legally buy alcohol. And the problem never got better. And I feel like that was one of the main reasons probably that kept us apart, was because of his drinking problem, because I didn't know how to handle that very well, but I still loved him. And I still told myself, like, I'm still gonna marry him, like, I will love him and his problems, that kind of thing. And eventually, Zack and we were best friends. He and I were best friends. And again, I still thought I was gonna marry him, and he said he would still marry me, obviously in the future, when time was right, when we were both ready. Zack and I grew apart the last year and a half because, as you guys have maybe seen my other videos, if you have not, go watch them. I went through a lot of problems, and I was emotionally damaged from what happened to me in Sacramento, and I was not well, and I had to cut off a lot of people in my life, and Zack was unfortunately one of them. But you know what? Zack was actually one of the only people that I did talk to during that time, and he knew all my problems. He knew what was going on, and he would try to help me as much as possible. But during this last year that I came home was when I cut him off as well, because I just needed to focus on me, focus on my weight, focus on finding a job, that kind of thing, if that makes sense. And unfortunately, I had to cut off Zack. And did I still see myself marrying Zack? I don't know. I can't answer that because Zack became a different person. Zack, he was the same but also very different. Zack was still going through his problems, and he was trying to get himself better from his drinking problems throughout the years, and he dropped out of college, and then now he was going back to college like 3 years later. So he was still trying to find himself as well. So I mean, I know he would still marry me, but would I still marry Zack? I don't know. I was at that point because I was dating my ex Jonathan, and I thought Jonathan was going to be the one I could marry. You know, I was at a mind state where I didn't know at that point where I wanted anymore, like I had previously, where I knew I wanted to marry Zack. At that point last year, I was just like, I don't know who I'm going to get married to. I don't know who my future husband is. I don't know where I'm going in my life. I literally was so lost. I didn't know what Zack was at that moment anymore. I don't know if he was just a best friend, a future husband, an ex-boyfriend. I didn't know what he was. And during that point, he kept calling me and asking me to text him and call him, and I would always make up these excuses not to, because I just didn't want. Sometimes I guess you could say Zack really could annoy me because he kept pushing and pushing to talk to me, and I just didn't want to because I was dealing with my own stuff, and I just kind of wanted to meet new people, and I just thought I could get back to Zack at any time at my life. You know, I could get back to him because he's always going to be there. That's what I thought of as Zack. He was always going to be here. I could always reach out to him whenever I was ready or wanted to. And the last time he reached out to me was in January. He said, hey, he's like, I miss you. And I said, I miss you too, Jiminy. Jiminy Cricket was his nickname from me. I had called him Jiminy Cricket since literally just months after we met. So that was his nickname because he was like my conscience. Like, he was a person I would go to for everything. That's why I called him Jiminy Cricket. Kind of a cute nickname, I know. So in January we last spoke. He said, I miss you, and I told him I miss you too, you know, but I was so busy with my life, and January too was like a crucial time for me because I was trying to get my life together still, and life kept happening, and I finally, by March or April, as you guys have seen my previous videos, I was getting better and better, and I was starting to go to the gym, and I was starting to work out, and Zack saw that, and he was so proud, and and I was still going through my struggles of trying to go back to school, and he was very supportive when I would post something really negative. He'd always comment something like, hey, like, don't worry about it, like, I'm going through the same thing, like, you're you, like, you are perfect, like, don't try to change. Like, he'd always tell me that on my posts, and I always appreciated Zack for it. And again, he would try to reach out, but again, I was too busy. And then by April, I saw that Zack posted a picture that he was in a hospital and that he was getting very, very sick. And I didn't know he was sick. And I didn't know what he was sick from, but I just knew that Zack had gained a lot of weight, and he had become obese, and he was someone I no longer recognized. This was not the boy that I fell in love with, because I got so scared, you guys. I got so scared that he had changed and he was in a hospital bed. But the thing I loved about Zack though is that he still had a smile on his face. He was still so happy, and yeah, he was going through his problem, but you know what? He was just like, you know what? This isn't gonna get to me, and I didn't even know what he was sick from. And at that point I knew, like, okay, like, I have to call him, I have to text him, I have to see what's going on. But again, I kept making all these excuses, and honestly, I was just afraid because I didn't like seeing him in a hospital bed, and I didn't like seeing him sick. So I was scared of what was gonna happen if I talked to him. So I kept pushing it off. And then finally in May, I had this feeling, like a gut feeling that something was wrong, and I wasn't sure what was wrong, but I kept thinking about him, and I was like, God, I'm like, where's Zack? I wonder how he is. Like, I gotta call him. But there was that precise moment at the end of May, beginning of June, like, I kept thinking a lot about Zack, and usually I never did as much because I was busy with my own life, but during that time I was like, like, Zack, like, he kept popping into my head, and I wasn't sure why, and I kept like brushing it off. I was on Facebook. I hardly go on Facebook anymore. That's the problem. His mom reached out to me on a page that she created for him. I knew of his mom. He talked to his mom about me all the time, and that's what I loved about Zack, because he'd tell his mom, like, Mom, that's the girl that I'm gonna marry. So I loved about him. He was so faithful, and he's so positive about our future together. I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry. So before my birthday, I found out that Zack passed away, unfortunately. I found out a week before my birthday. Zack passed away on May 26, 2019. So he passed away like almost 3 months ago, 2 months ago now. 2 months ago. Over 2 months. I'm sorry, over 2 months. He passed away. Zack passed away due to liver disease, due to being an alcoholic for most of his life, early life, since 13 years old. And the last 2 years, I know that Zack was trying to fix it, but by that time, I believe it was too late to fix it. I'm not too sure when he got diagnosed with liver disease. I'm not quite sure, but it had to do a lot with his drug use and his alcohol problem. And by the time that he wanted to make his life better, it was too late for him, unfortunately. Hence why I titled this video that I lost the man that I may have been married to. I could see myself getting married to. I lost my future husband. This was a boy. This was a man that I thought I was gonna marry, and I thought I was gonna marry him for years. This wasn't just a spark in the moment. This wasn't just a moment thinking. I honestly thought I was gonna marry this man, and I lost one of my best friends and I was not able to say goodbye. And I think that's what hurts the most in making this video, because I have to tell you guys that I lost who was at one point the love of my life, one of my best friends, my future husband, and I couldn't even have the guts to say goodbye because I was so scared. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm making this video because if you have someone in your life and you're not talking to them, but they mean a lot to you, please pick up the phone and text them. Don't even text them. Please pick up the phone to call them, because you really don't know how much time each of us has. And I don't know how much time I have left myself, and I didn't know how much time Zack had left. Had I known, I would have picked up that phone, but I didn't know. And even then, I should have picked up the phone anyway. That's my point of this whole video, is I knew he was sick. I saw that in April he was sick. I had 1 month to call him, and I didn't. I didn't pick up the phone. And it kills me, because I lost one of my best friends, and I didn't even get to say goodbye to him. And it's gonna kill me for the rest of my life. See, I didn't want to make this video, but I feel like I had to, because to tell my story with Zack, because he was so special. You guys, I can't tell you how special this man was. He had his problems, but he was the most kindest, most considerate, most compassionate man that I have ever met. He was just so amazing to me, and he made me feel beautiful every day. And that's the one thing I'm gonna miss about Zack. It's been 2 weeks now since I've heard the news of Zack's passing. Over 2 weeks, it's been almost 3. It doesn't get any better when you lose someone that you care about and that you love. It doesn't get any better, it gets harder. I miss him every day, and I'm gonna keep missing him every day. I had his picture framed, and I hung it in my room on my dresser to see him every day still. I never had a relationship with his mom, and he always begged me to. He always said, you need to have a relationship with my mom because you're the girl that I'm gonna marry someday, and I want you to meet my mom. I want you to talk to my mom every day. And he just wanted me so badly to have a relationship with his mother because he 100% knew that he was gonna marry me. And I never did because I wasn't sure. I was kind of nervous. I was like, what? Like, I'm not gonna talk to your mom? Like, that's weird. Like, I need to meet her face to face, you know? That's how I was. And I finally was able to talk to his mom. I've been talking to her these last 2 weeks, and I've been finally sharing to her the relationship that Zack and I have shared. And so to my surprise, but not to my surprise, is that she knew very well of me, and she said that I was the only girl that Zack would really talk about. And then she said that I meant a lot to Zack. So that really touched me, knowing that I meant that much to him. She had him cremated, and she kept some of his ashes in a necklace, and she gave some to his sister because he did have a younger sister. I believe a younger sister, I'm pretty sure. She was younger than him. And she said that his dream was to come to California, and she said that now she knew why he wanted to come here so badly, because he did want to come here to visit me all the time, and he wanted me to go over there and visit me all the time, and we never did. And I wish I had gone to visit him when I had money, and I never did. It was my fault. It was both our fault. We should have made more of an effort, and you know, it's just money was so tight, and even though we talked on phone and FaceTime and everything, it wasn't the same. You know, you need to see the person, and you know, to see them, you know, to hug them and physically touch them. And even when we had the money, we never made plans, and I regret that. I think we should have made more an effort to see each other. She is coming here within a year, she says, with Zack's ashes, or the rest of Zack's ashes. So he has like an actual, so she kept a little bit and gave some to the sister, but his is in an urn, I believe it's called, and she said she wants to release the majority and the rest of his ashes here in California on a beach, I believe, or somewhere that's beautiful, because he never was able to come to California. So she wants to release his ashes here because she thinks it would be really special, and it would mean a lot to him, and it would mean a lot to me. And it's crazy, that looks like a, sorry. It would mean a lot to him and a lot to me, and I told her that I would meet up with her to release his ashes if she would let me, and I'm pretty sure she would let me to be there in the moment. But I've been talking to the mom anyway, like I said, these last 2 weeks, and we've just shared stories, and I've shared some messages that he and I shared together that were personal, and I let her see it because, you know, she thought that maybe he had died without loving anybody, but that's not true. He loved me till the very end. So it makes her feel better knowing that he found love with someone before he died, even though he technically never got married. I'm just here to tell you guys that, again, like I said, if you have someone in your life and you're not talking to them, please pick up the phone and call them, because you don't know how much time is left. And I lost someone very important to me, and unfortunately it took his death for me to realize it, how important he was. I knew he was important, but unfortunately it took this tragic event to know how much he really meant to me, for me to really see it this time. But you know what? I'm going to carry his memory with me for the rest of my life, and his picture is always going to be here, and I'm going to take his picture. I'm never going to take it down, even when I get married myself. And, you know, like, I will always keep his memory with me, and he will always be known as one of the people that I saw myself getting married to, and I saw him as my future husband. And unfortunately, in these kinds of events, he was not able to be my future husband. He died at a very young age, at 26. But he's always going to be very important to me. Like I said, I'm going to take his memory with everywhere I go. I will tell everybody that he was one of my best friends, and that's the truth. Zack was one of my best friends, and I was so lucky to have him in my life. So, so lucky. And you're probably saying, but you never met in person. You know what? Sometimes you just love people without having to meet them. There is just sometimes with certain people that you have that special connection with, and Zack was one of those people, and I am so lucky to have had him. And it's just been really hard these 2 weeks, and I'm definitely gonna miss him. So I'm gonna cut this video short. This was just to tell the story of Zack and I, our relationship, our story, part of our story. I obviously don't want to share everything with you guys because a lot of it's very intimate, and I want it to stay intimate between me and him. So I don't want to share the whole world, how we really were, because there were some things I felt like need to be kept just for me and him to remember. But that is it for me. This was just to tell my story and how I'm coping, and honestly, time will just heal everything. And even though Zack never turned out to be the person that I ended up marrying with, you know, I know he would want what's best for me, and now I know that I have a guardian angel, and I asked for a sign because I just wanted to know if he forgave me for not talking to him. I wasn't sure because I didn't want to live with this whole regret, even though I'm very regretful. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't upset with me, as crazy as that sounds. And my sign was his mom contacting me on my birthday, because Zack always wished me a happy birthday every year without fail. So her contacting me on my birthday and us talking about Zack and our memories, and finally building a relationship with his mom, like what he always wanted, to me, that's my sign. And even though it's happening when he's gone, I know that he would be so happy to know that I have starting to have a relationship with his mom, the one that he always wanted me to have. So to me, that's my sign that he's gonna be okay, and that he's watching over me and his mom and his family as well. Anyways, you guys, that's it for me. I'm sorry if I got emotional. It's really hard to talk about, and it hasn't been that long since I found out about his passing. And it's gonna be harder as time goes on, probably, and it'll get easier too to talk about it. So this is the story of me and Zack, and I hope you can take something from this, and that not everyone has all the time on this planet with each other. You know, you only have so much time with the person that you care about: your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your brother, your sister, your partner. You really don't know how much time we have left, and the only advice I can tell you is pick up the phone and call them. Even if you're the most roughest fight and you're fighting, please pick up the phone, because you really don't know how much time we all have left, and every day we are living, it's a gift. And Zack was very grateful for his life, even though he died of a tragic disease that, you know, he began on his own, but he died probably being very hopeful. So that's it for me though. At the end of this video, I will include a few photos of Zack and 2 songs that I really do love listening to. One's a little bit sad, but one's very hopeful for me. I'll be displaying some pictures of him and these songs that remind me of him, and please take the time to pray for him and just to pray that he's well. And I know he is, but you know, just for me, I guess, just pray that I'll get better, pray that he is a wonderful place, which I know he is, because I believe there is a heaven and a God, and I know that God is taking care of him now, and he is as beautiful as ever. Anyways, you guys, thank you for listening. Hope this wasn't too sad. I will be back when I'm ready. I'm gonna take some time off again to focus on work because I just got back from vacation. Thanks for listening, and rest in peace, Zack. I love you. Bye, guys.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see